You've been hitting the range, burning through ammo, maybe even took a class or two. But something's off. Your groups aren't tightening up. Your follow-ups feel slow. And for some reason, the more you shoot, the more frustrated you get. Truth is, there are fundamentals that most shooters never learn. Not from their buddies, not from the range officer, and sure as hell not from the manufacturer's manual. These are the kind of shooting secrets nobody talks about, but every high-level shooter knows by heart. Today, on Firearms Zone, we're breaking down 12 real-world tips that can tighten your groups, speed up your split times, and make your gun feel like an extension of your body. No gimmicks, no ninja drills, just real, technical shooting knowledge that could change everything, if you actually apply it. Let's get started. Number 12. Get that grip up high. Let me put this bluntly. If you're still gripping your pistol low on the frame, you're giving recoil the green light to wreck your follow-ups. Most shooters, especially newer ones, leave a visible gap between the web of their hand and the beaver tail. That gap? It's leverage for the gun, and not the kind you want. You need to drive that hand as high up the backstrap as possible. I'm talking full contact, deep into the beaver tail, so that your bore axis lines up with your forearm. Because the higher the grip, the less muzzle rise you'll fight. Think of it like a lever. The farther the force is from the pivot, the more torque you get. That's basic physics. If your hand sits low, the muzzle flips hard. Get your hand higher, and that recoil stays flatter, tighter, easier to control. I've seen shooters shave half a second off their split times just by correcting grip height. No gear swap, no drills, just better mechanics. But here's the warning. Don't go so high that your thumb or web contacts the slide. That's a fast way to get bit or jam the cycle. Lock in that high grip. Let the frame ride low in recoil. And feel the gun track straighter with every shot. Number 11. Your support hand does the heavy lifting. Here's the part nobody tells you. Your dominant hand shouldn't be doing the hard work. I know, sounds backwards. But if you're white-knuckling that grip with your strong hand, you're killing your trigger control. The dominant hand is for finesse, steady pressure, straight back trigger pull, minimal interference. The real muscle? That comes from your support hand. You want to crush that grip in from the sides, like wringing out a soaked towel. Wrap your fingers in tight, drive your palm forward, and create counterpressure that locks the gun in place. Some instructors call it the crusher grip, and for good reason. It turns your two hands into one stabilized shooting platform. What's happening here is simple. Your support hand is soaking up recoil, while your trigger hand stays relaxed enough to run clean press after press. Try it right now. Pick up an unloaded gun, grip it like you're trying to snap it in half sideways. You'll feel the difference immediately. It's the difference between chasing recoil and owning it. Number 10. Master the surprise break. If you're flinching, you're missing. And I don't care how tough you are. Your brain knows that bang is coming, and it tries to prep your body for impact. That prep? It wrecks your shot. You start pushing the muzzle down, yanking the trigger, bracing for the hit. It's automatic, but it's also fixable. The fix? Stop trying to time the shot. Instead, press the trigger slow and steady, like squeezing water out of a sponge. The goal is to break the shot by surprise, not because you forced it, but because pressure built until it just happened. That's the surprise break, and it's the #1 way to kill flinch and clean up your groups. Here's how to drill it. Dry fire. Line up the sights. Start pressing that trigger with no set moment in mind. Let it surprise you. And when you go live, same thing. sight picture, press, wait for it. You'll know you nailed it when you barely feel the recoil, because you weren't bracing for it. Do this enough, and the gun starts going off clean, without you dragging it off target. Surprise the shot. Don't force it. And watch your accuracy come alive. Number 9. Dry fire is your best friend. Want to shoot better without burning through 1,000 rounds? Start dry firing. Most shooters skip it, but the ones who win matches? They live by it. Dry fire isn't some beginner drill. It's where real fundamentals are built. No recoil, no noise, no distractions, just raw technique, grip, sight picture, trigger control, under a microscope. Every time you press the trigger without the bang, you're watching the sights for movement. If they dip, jump, or drift, you've got a problem to fix. And dry fire tells you exactly where it's happening. You don't need fancy gear. Just triple-check your gun is clear, point it in a safe direction, and run your reps. 10 minutes a day. That's it. And if you're serious, set up a small target. Tape a dime on the slide. Practice breaking the shot without moving the frame. You'll build more muscle memory in your living room than most folks do at the range. Remember, dry fire isn't fake practice. It's focused practice. And when you finally go live again, you'll feel it instantly. Cleaner breaks, tighter groups, less wasted ammo. Number 8. Learn to ride the reset. Most shooters? They slap the trigger like it's a doorbell. Bang, finger flies all the way off. Then comes back for round 2. That's slow. That's sloppy. And it kills your follow-up shots. If you want real speed and control, you need to ride the reset. Here's how it works. After the shot breaks, you ease the trigger forward just enough until you feel that distinct click. That's the reset. That click means the gun is ready to go again. And you don't need to move an inch farther. From that point, your next shot is just one clean press away. What you've done is cut trigger travel in half. Less movement, less wasted time, more control. On a Glock, on a 1911, on an AR, it doesn't matter. Each platform has its own reset feel. Your job is to find it and build the muscle memory. Dry fire it, slow fire it, burn it in. Because when that second shot matters, in competition or in defense, you don't have time for full-stroke slaps. You want fast, tight, and deliberate. And riding the reset is how you get there. Number 7. Front sight, always front sight. This is the one rule that separates real shooters from everyone else. If your rounds are drifting, your groups are sloppy, and you swear you had the sights lined up, I'm telling you right now, you weren't watching your front sight. Your eye can only focus on one distance at a time. That's not theory. That's biology. So when you try to focus on the target, the rear sight, and the front sight all at once, something's gotta blur. And the one that can't be blurry is the front sight. That front blade should be razor sharp, crisp edges, clear paint, locked in. Everything else, target, rear notch, can fade into the background. Because here's what happens when you start chasing a clear view of the target. Your eye shifts focus, your alignment falls apart, and your round lands somewhere it shouldn't. I've seen shooters peek their eyes forward the second they break a shot, trying to watch the impact. That peek? It's why the round missed in the first place. You don't chase the impact. You watch the sight. Even at close range, 7, 10 yards, you still need that front sight crisp. It's the only fixed reference between your eye and the target. Lose it, and you're guessing. In low light, high stress, fast strings, the habit of front sight focus is what holds everything together. So drill it. Burn it in. Because if your front sight isn't sharp, Your shooting never will be. Number 6. Push-pull creates stability. Most shooters think stance is all about foot placement, but it's not. Your feet matter, sure, but real stability comes from what your hands are doing. The secret is isometric tension. Your dominant hand pushes the gun forward, while your support hand pulls it back toward you. That push-pull creates a locked-in platform that absorbs recoil and keeps the gun tracking straight. You want to feel tension through your arms, almost like you're trying to stretch the frame of the gun between your palms. Combine that with a slight forward lean, hips behind you, weight over the balls of your feet, and your entire body becomes a recoil sponge. If you're just standing upright, arms extended but loose, you're basically letting the gun control you. But when you create that internal tension between your hands, the gun stops jumping and starts returning right back to center. Every shooter's body is different, so dial in the push and pull until it feels natural. But once you lock it down, you'll feel it. The gun stays flatter, your sights come back faster, and your shooting becomes way more repeatable. Number 5. Know your dominant eye. You can have perfect grip, perfect stance, and textbook trigger control. But if you're aligning sights with the wrong eye, none of it matters. Eye dominance isn't about which eye has better vision. It's about which eye your brain naturally relies on for spatial alignment. Here's the quick test. Make a triangle with your hands, pick a distant object, and center it inside the triangle. Now, slowly bring your hands toward your face. Whichever eye it naturally aligns with is your dominant eye. If that eye doesn't match your shooting hand, you're cross-dominant. And that can throw your sight picture off without you even realizing it. Cross-dominance can cause you to unconsciously tilt your head, shift your pistol, or struggle to find the sights consistently. The fix? Either train your head position to bring the dominant eye in line with the gun, or, if that's uncomfortable, consider shooting with the opposite hand, or closing one eye during sighting. It's not about right or wrong. It's about finding a sight picture your brain can trust. Once your dominant eye and alignment match, accuracy improves instantly. Most shooters spend months chasing a tight group when all they really needed was to shift their head half an inch. Don't ignore this one. It's subtle, but it solves more problems than most people realize. Number 4. Ammunition consistency matters. If you think all ammo runs the same, you're already behind. Different bullet weights, different brands, even different production lots from the same factory can shoot completely differently out of your gun. One load might group tight and run flawlessly. Another might throw rounds left, low, or cycle like trash. The phrase, "my gun likes this ammo," isn't just casual talk. It's the result of real-world testing. You need to find a load that your firearm actually performs with, not just the cheapest box on the shelf. That means trying different grain weights, 115, 124, or 147 grain loads in 9mm, and paying attention to how your sights track, how the recoil feels, and how tight the groups run at your standard distance. Once you find a round that hits consistently and feeds reliably, you stick with it for all serious use: training, defense, carry. Don't bounce between brands every weekend. Consistency builds confidence, and confidence builds performance. It's not about being picky, it's about removing variables. When you know exactly how your gun shoots a specific round, everything else gets simpler. Your zero holds, your follow-ups tighten, and you're not second-guessing the gear when something feels off. Bottom line, find your load, confirm it, and don't switch it up unless you have a reason. Number 3. Clean smart, not obsessively. A clean gun runs better, but there's such a thing as cleaning too much, and a lot of shooters don't realize it. Scrubbing your barrel every time you shoot might make you feel thorough, but in reality, aggressive overcleaning can actually wear down rifling over time. especially with brushes that don't match your bore or jags that scrape chambers. The truth is, you don't need a spotless gun, you need a functional one. Focus your cleaning on the high-friction, high-contact areas: the bore, chamber, bolt face, extractor, and feed ramp. Those are the parts that keep the gun running. Light fouling in the barrel isn't always a bad thing either. In fact, some precision shooters prefer it, because a thin layer of copper and carbon can stabilize velocity and help consistency. The real issue comes when buildup affects cycling, extraction, or accuracy. Same goes for lube. Too much oil just collects dust and powder residue, turning into grit that slows things down. Use the right solvents, the right patches, the right brushes, and apply lubrication only where metal meets metal. Know your gun. Know your firing schedule. Clean it to maintain reliability, not to make it shine. A gun that runs is better than one that just looks pretty on a mat. Number 2, time your breathing. Your sights don't lie. Your body moves with every breath you take. And if you're not controlling that movement, your shot will drift with it. The trick isn't to hold your breath like you're underwater. It's to time your trigger press with your natural respiratory pause. Here's how it works. Take a normal breath in, exhale about halfway, and then hold right there. Don't force it. Just settle into that natural pause. That's the moment when your chest is still, your heartbeat is steady, and your body gives you the cleanest possible window to break the shot. That window only lasts a couple seconds, so don't sit on it too long or you'll start shaking. You're not bracing. You're waiting for stability. This applies across the board. Long gun, pistol, red dot, irons, it doesn't matter. The smaller your margin for error, the more breathing control matters. And if you're stacking shots at distance, trying to hit a 6-inch plate at 100 yards, that pause is everything. Practice it during dry fire. Feel your rhythm. Get used to pulling the trigger during that calm in your body. Once you learn to sync breath and trigger, your precision takes a leap you can feel. Number 1, use your sling for stability. Most people think a sling is just for carrying a rifle, but they're missing half the point. A properly used sling becomes a force multiplier for stability, especially when you're standing, shooting from barriers, or working long shots offhand. When you wrap a sling around your support arm and load tension into it, you create a third point of contact, one that tightens the entire shooting platform between your body and the gun. It's like adding an anchor that cuts down body sway and locks the rifle into your frame. Whether you're running a 2-point sling for patrol-style setups, a loop sling for prone accuracy, or even a modern quick-adjust sling like the Vickers or VTAC, the principle is the same. Tension equals stability. You can drive the rifle forward into the sling or brace it against cover and let the sling take the load. Either way, it reduces muscle fatigue, speeds up target transitions, and tightens your natural point of aim. I've seen shooters go from wobble-heavy to rock-solid just by learning how to properly load their sling. It's one of the most underused tools in a shooter's kit, and when you learn to apply it, especially under stress or fatigue, you'll wonder why you ever ran without it. 12 real-world shooting tips. No fluff, no gimmicks, just fundamentals that work. These aren't secrets because they're complicated. They're secrets because too many shooters skip the details that actually matter. But if you apply even half of what we covered today, your grip will tighten, your sights will stay still, and your hits will land exactly where they should. You don't need more gear. You need more control. And that starts with better knowledge, better reps, and better habits. This is Firearms Zone, where skill beats hype and real shooters chase mastery. We'll see you on the next one.